I'm going to share with you 8 life-changing organization and decluttering hacks that you need to do today. It's the beginning of the year, and this is the time that we are all so bombarded with all the things, right? Bills, insurance things coming in the mail, tax documents, and now is the time to get organized. I spent 23 years as the Chief Operations Officer of my family's business. I did the bookkeeping, I did customer service, I took care of all the things within the company, and I devised a system to keep myself organized. And the joke in the office was, ask Renee anything. Ask Renee anything. And I can pull out documents and pieces of paper and proof to CYA. And I could do that for 23 years. I knew where everything was because I am such an organized person, and I had to work super closely with our accounting team, and I learned a lot of valuable organization tips from working with accountants, and I implement them in my own life. I actually left our company business, my very secure corporate job, over 5 years ago now, to start my own business, which I just recently sold. If you've been on my channel, you know that. And so I just think it's the perfect time, because it's the beginning of a new year, for me to share my organizational system with you. And this has been a very highly requested video topic. And I have a system that works. It can work for anybody. It is super simple. You can start it this very minute, and it will make your entire year run so smoothly. So let's get down to the 8 life-changing organization and decluttering hacks that you need to do right now. Number 1, it starts with getting your mail. If you're like me, every day I go to the mailbox and I have a stack of mail. A stack of mail! Who is sending me all this stuff? But tip number 1 is open it all. At that moment, come in the house from your mailbox and open your mail. Do not lay it down and create a stack of mail. Because when you create a very large stack of work for yourself, it's a very daunting task. It just becomes bigger and bigger, and you want to put it off. So my first tip, the absolute number 1 first thing you must do is open your mail. And number 2, you will find that by opening your mail, the majority of that big stack becomes this big, because so much of it is junk. Junk. Throw it away. Get rid of it. Don't let it accumulate. Don't put it in a pile of mail. The third thing you're going to do is take all of your mail and all of your paperwork into one designated location in your house. Do not lay some down in the kitchen and some on your desk and take some to your bedroom. That just is top of the list. One of the ways that you can become so unorganized after you've gotten your mail and opened it and thrown out the junk, take everything that's left, everything that's important, into one location. And for me, it all comes in my office, on my desk. The fourth thing you're going to do is such a simple task. And when I worked in a corporate office, I was amazed that so many people did not do this. It is such an important tip. Have some paper clips in your one designated area. And if you have paperwork that arrived in the mail and it's an invoice you need to pay, it's something that you need to mail back to somebody, chances are they gave you a return envelope. When you were opening your mail and you looked at what your mail was, if you don't need the envelope, throw it out with the trash. One of the very first things I do. But if I need that envelope to pay a bill or to return something, you want to handle your paperwork very precisely this way. Take your paperwork, put the envelope on the side, put the flap of the envelope around the paperwork, and put a paper clip on it. That way, your paperwork is together, you have your return envelope, it's neatly organized. And the reason you don't put it at the top is because that flap is going to normally cover up the header or the name of the company who sent you the paperwork. Putting it on the side will keep your paperwork elongated, easy to read, and perfect for the next step. For my organizational tips to work, there is one thing that you have to buy, and it is this accordion file folder. It runs A to Z. Each tab is a letter of the alphabet, and it opens up, it expands to hold all of your paperwork. I have one For 2023, for my personal finances, you need an identical file folder that is numerical. So every tab has a number on it representing the day of the month, 1 through 31. You can buy these file folders at any office supply store. I actually purchased mine on Amazon. They're about $20. They do come in several different color choices, so pick something that you like. I will put a link to the specific file folders that I use in the description box below this video. But once you have your file folders and you have opened your mail and you have the envelope and the paper clip here, you're going to do one of two things. If it is an invoice that you have to pay, go to your numerical file folder, and for example, if this invoice is due on the 10th of the month, you're going to file it in the number 10 slot. Now, the reason it's so important that we put our envelope over here, because that is how your paperwork will properly fit into your file system. So once you've got all of your bills, payments that are due, filed away in your numerical file, you can very quickly, every day of the month or a week ahead or however you do it, sit down and say, oh, okay, I can flip through here. I have a payment due on the 10th, I have something else due on the 15th, and then nothing else is due again until the 27th. It will be clearly laid out for you day by day by day. If what you got in the mail is not an invoice, let's just say it's something that you need to keep. For example, my electric bill gets paid automatically by bank draft, but the electric company does send me a written statement. So I'm going to take that, let's assume this is the statement, and my electric company is called Jackson Purchase. I'm going to file it in the J slot. So at the end of the year, if I needed to pull out all of my electric invoices, I go right to J, and there they all are. Now, you're going to have your two file systems, your numerical and your alphabetical. So after you have paid an invoice that's in your numerical file folder, it then gets moved over to the alphabetical file folder. So at the end of the year, all of your paid invoices and all of your important paperwork will end up in the alphabetical file folder, so you can find everything that you need. I also use my alphabetical file folder for keeping receipts. If there's something on there I think I might need to return in the future, I file away the receipt. Anything and everything that I think I ever might need to keep, I put it in my alphabetical file folder. So I can go to those folders year after year after year and look back. All I have to know is the company name, and it is right there. So organized, easy to find, no clutter, and I can go right to it. The seventh tip I have for you is to create a file folder, an independent file folder, and keep it with all of your other things, but label it tax documents. When I receive all of those things that you are going to need to file your taxes, I put them in this folder. As your W-2s come in, or your 1099s, or your investment statements, or your insurance payment statements, any of those random things, whatever that is for you, I automatically put them in my tax folder. So when it is time for me to sit down and do my taxes, everything is right here. If it gives you a peace of mind to go on and file away the invoice from where you paid your homeowner's insurance, for example, make a copy of it and put one in your tax document folder and in your paid alphabetical folder. You've got one in each place, one where you need it. You're never going to have to dig around for it, and when it comes tax time, you will thank me. If you have receipts where you made donations, put them in your tax folder. Where I live in the state of Kentucky, we have to pay taxes on our vehicles every year, which is so frustrating. But regardless, I have one copy in my paid folder and one copy in my tax folder. And the next thing you're going to do is keep a daily planner. So many people have online planners. That's totally fine. I'm old school. I love a paper planner. I want this in my hand. I want to be able to flip through and see the entire month at a glance. And this is really just an extra step to remind you that if you have something that is consistently due on the same day every month, or once a quarter, mark it in your day planner. Use a colored pen or a highlighter and mark it in your planner. When I owned my business, I had my lease payment for the building we were in due on the first day every month, and I had to mail my landlord a check. So I had marked in my planner, rent due, every single month. I had it highlighted and I always knew. And because I was a business owner, I had to file certain monthly and quarterly tax reports and pay taxes. I made sure to keep those things in my daily planner, highlighted, colored, so that they stood out to me. So anytime I looked at my planner to see if I had a hair appointment or a doctor's appointment or whatever I was looking for, I always saw the days that I had payments due to somebody because they jumped off the page to me and I never forgot to make a payment. So how easy was that, right? This should be your motivational tip to start your year off right. Start it now. So follow my 8 super simple tips to stay organized, and I'll meet you right back here at the end of the year and you can thank me. See you in another video.